Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. Today is September 25th, 2019. I actually remembered that because I've made this video twice already. Anyway, it's Wednesday. Aren't we happy that it's Wednesday? I'm not supposed to be where I'm at. I am in Carroll Stream, Illinois, at a place called International Paper. I don't mind telling you that because I've never been here before and I have no intention on ever coming back. I was told to come up here. This is definitely not anything I normally do. I was told to come up here and drop off the trailer that is behind me and pick up the empty trailer that is over there and then drive out of here. The people inside had different ideas. And I prepared a demonstration to show you exactly what the people inside thought about me when I went in there and asked them why I wasn't just dropping the trailer and what they basically did to me and what they did to me. And I prepared a demonstration for you to show you what they did to me. Here it is. And in case you can't see it, there it is. What they did was this. That's what they did to me. Yeah, you get it? So, yeah, I wasn't going to make a video today because I wasn't going to have time. I wasn't supposed to sit here, but now I'm going to be sitting here for quite a long time, and I'm probably not going to have enough hours to drive back to where I need to be because of it. In case you don't know, hours of service law for truck drivers, we can only drive 11 hours a day, but we can work 14 hours a day. And what do I mean by that 14? As soon as you start your clock, that 14-hour clock starts ticking, and it doesn't stop no matter what you do, even when you're off the clock, basically. That's still ticking. You have 14 hours in a day to complete whatever you need to do. There are some exceptions that you can work around here and there, but yeah, let's just stick to that. 14 hours a day. Okay, so I can sit here for, 11 hours, 12, 13, 14, 3 hours. I can sit here and do nothing. And I typically do it every day. These people think I'm going to do it again today. Whatever. Anyway, that's not the point of the video. I didn't make the video to complain about my job, although I'll probably do that quite a bit more anyway. I'm having that kind of day, in case you haven't noticed. So, yeah. There's going to be some complaining in this video. But philosophy, know thyself. That's what I'm talking about today. And just before I start, because somebody on YouTube said I should say it, don't forget to subscribe and hit that annoying little icon that gives you those obnoxious notifications every time I post a video. Thanks. I'm on the west side of Chicago today. I usually don't come to this side of Chicago. I usually don't come this far into Chicago. I'm usually around the outskirts of the south side of Chicago when I come this way. Now I'm like deep into the west side of Chicago from the looks of the map. It wasn't easy to get in here without a GPS. Let me tell you, I had to keep using Google and maps and hoping there was no low bridges. That was stressful. Anyway, philosophy, know thyself. Have you ever pushed yourself to a limit, like any kind of a limit? How far can you run, for example, is a good one. Have you ever ran until you physically could not move anymore, until you physically you failed? Push yourself to failure. They say it sometimes in certain gyms, types of working out. Push yourself to failure. You keep going until you physically can't no more, and then you take a break and do it again. I mean, yeah, but have you ever pushed yourself to any kind of limit, such as running? If you don't know how far you can run, and we're going to talk about how this applies to SHTF in just a second, but if you don't know how far you can run, how will you ever know how far you need to run when you have to run? Now, what do I mean by that? And here's the SHTF thing. So if you have to run in any kind of a disaster, any kind of situation, it doesn't even have to be SHTF. If you have to run away because someone's chasing you or dogs chasing, whatever, if you have to run away. Now, let's give you a prime example right here, and I'll show you. There is a truck lot there. There's a tree line behind it. There's a line of trucks, trailers, and everything over there. So, and that's a relatively short distance, but we're going to use it for an example. Do I know how far I can run? Now, if somebody was chasing me from where I'm at right now, there's a tree line up a hill and a whole lot of trailers. Now, if I don't know how far I can run, my first thought, the best hiding spot, tree line, and maybe help behind the tree line. Maybe. Doubt it, but maybe. Okay, so I'm going to try to get to the tree line, but maybe I don't know how far I can run, and I got over by that line of trailers and I collapsed, and then everybody caught up to me and did whatever it was they intended to do. Probably not good. Now, if I knew I couldn't make it to that tree line because I'm slow, lazy, and weak because I don't exercise, I would probably stop right around that line of trailers. Now, you can hide around trailers, you could hide in trailers, you can hide up in the bottoms of there's plenty of places to hide in a line of trailers, especially if it's dark. And if there's more than just a single row, it's even better. But yeah, if I knew I couldn't make it to the tree line because I wasn't fast enough or I couldn't run because I know my limits because I've tested myself before, then I'd know I needed to hide somewhere in the trailer line. And that's just one example of knowing your limits. I mean, you have limits for everything. For everything. You have here's another good one. 3 days without water. What is it? 3 weeks without food. 28 days, somewhere right around in there. Can you go 3 days without water? Maybe you can if you're sitting in perfect temperatures, perfect weather, in the shade, nice and cool, and you're not moving. Then yeah, you can probably go 3 days without water. Put a backpack on your back and walk a mile a day for 3 days and don't drink anything. See if you can survive. Not gonna happen. It's BS. It really is. You can't put a number on, you can survive 3 days without water, you can survive 3 weeks without food. You can't physically put a number on that, because some people are only going to survive 1 day without water, and some people are only going to survive 10 days without food. People who are really skinny and don't eat enough. Anyway, certain people are just not, and then you got to take the other side of the spectrum. People that, you know, already don't drink enough water, or drink a lot of water, or they're overhydrated, and they're in cooler temperatures, they don't need as much water for whatever reason. They go 4 days, they go 5 days without water, they don't die. And you know, not to be rude or anything, but fat people are going to last longer than 28 days. Why? I mean, obviously, I won't be rude. Try not to be rude. I've been rude enough today to those people in there, but they started it, so yeah. But eye for an eye, right? I'm going to have to repent after the day. I'm going to be at home repenting later. Keep that in mind. So knowing yourself, knowing your limits it's a key to life. It really is. I mean, how do you know somebody's done CrossFit? Because they tell you about it every chance they get. So in CrossFit, I lift weights sometimes. You know, my little skinny arms here. I lift weights. And when I first started CrossFit, I was lifting less than 100 pounds. Now I'm well over it because I'm little. I'm a little guy. That's why I carry a gun, because I'm a little guy and I don't want to fight. Because some big old dude wants to fight me, I'm gonna throw rocks at you and then shoot you. Yeah, that's just okay. I'm having a bad day. Just keep that in mind for whatever I say today. It might sound bad. I'm having a bad day, and I'm venting on my phone to you. Thanks for listening to me vent. You probably have stopped the video by now. Anyway. Yeah, know thyself. I mean, you got to know your limits. You got to know what you can and cannot endure, and you wouldn't believe what you could. You don't know. If you've never had to endure anything, then you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe just, I mean, what you can tolerate. Just for example, what you can tolerate, the kind of the treatment that you can tolerate from people. Let's just take an abusive relationship, for example. A wife being beat by her husband, you know, a male type looking person that needs to be buried. A wife being beat by him, she stays with him because she's enduring. How much of that can she endure? Sometimes they find out. Sometimes the husband finds out, and he reaches that limit. And yeah, a lot of times he is either missing a couple body parts, or he's just dead. So yeah, where is your limit? Where is your limit of how much you're going to take in SHTF? How far are you going to be pushed before you snap? How far are you going to be, you know, talked down to until you just go off on somebody? I know my limits because I reach them quite often. It's a stressful job. It really is. So my stress, the amount of stress I can tolerate is a lot higher than most people because I've got practice. And I've pushed that limit as many times as you can think of in a single day. I could list 10 times today that I pushed my limit. Just today. It's just today. Stress. It's a stressful job. It's a stressful life, and especially when you're in places you're not supposed to be and your GPS. I could go on and on, but knowing thyself, pushing thy limits. That's the thing. That's the key. Training. You have to train. You train for whatever it is that you're preparing for. You train for, you know, tactical situations. You train to, you know, you learn how to grow food. Whatever. You teach yourself stuff. You learn stuff. Where do you stop? Where's your limit when you're learning? Push your limits always. Push your limits when you're learning new things. Push your limits on things you do that you've already done, you know how to do. You jog every day. Good. How far? Go farther. Keep going until you can't. Call somebody to pick you up at the other side when you can't. I mean, yeah, it's possible. How far can I hike with my backpack? So far I've hit 10 miles. I could have gone farther, but it was getting dark. So I guess faster next time. I like to hike, hunt, fish, and all those things that I loved to do before I got stuck with this job that I don't like. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like working, it's that I don't like being away from my house for 15 hours a day. On an average day, I'm away from my house 15 hours a day. So that's 15 hours I don't, and that's not all working, of course. I only work about 12, 13, 14 of them, but you know, we're averaging 14, 15 hours a day away from my house. Yeah, and I don't want to do that. I'm happy with my income. I'm fine with how much money I have and the things I have. I'm fine with all that. The only thing I'm not fine with is how much time I have. I have none. I have no time to do anything since I started working this job. Before I was working this job, I was working what they call yard dog, yard driver. All I did was sit at a place kind of like this and move trailers around. And they paid pretty good. They paid, I don't know, if you average out my salary by how many hours I work, I was actually making more money there, even though I was working less hours and getting paid less. You know, just doing the math. So, yeah, it's not that I hate working, it's that I hate facilitating other people not to. Because that's all you do when you're working a job like mine or any kind of manual labor, any kind of office job, really. The more you do your job and the better you do your job, the more money your company makes so that whoever owns your company doesn't have to work. How do you get around that? How do you avoid that? Either really enjoy what you're doing for the company, which, you know, I used to enjoy driving until I started doing it. So make sure you're going to enjoy it for a long time, even if you have to do it every day. That's the hard part. And just, yeah, start your own business. I'm trying. I really am. And I'll tell you this, I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to tell you we have submitted a business plan to an investor who said that if we had a good enough business plan for the idea that we had, he would contribute $50,000 to our startup. Pray. That's all I can ask for, that is pray. Because we submitted it to him over the weekend, and hopefully within, I don't know, sooner or later we'll get some kind of response, hopefully. And I usually don't talk about anything I'm planning to do here on this other than getting out of this truck, but that's how I plan to get out of the truck, and that's why I plan to get out of the truck. It's not that I hate my job. I'm glad I have a job. I'm thankful that I can provide for my family. I just wish I could see them more. And that's just the gist of it. I just don't like leaving. I'd rather be there I would rather be working for myself. I'd rather own a farm. I mean, I used to live on a farm when I was younger. We had horses, ducks, not cows. We didn't have, the neighbors had cows. They were always in our yard though. So we might as well had a cow. Anyway, but yeah, goats, rabbits, all that stuff. I lived on a farm. I loved it. I loved working farms. Now I work in a truck. I hate it. I really do. And that's why. But anyway, I guess that's enough of me complaining for the video. Thanks for listening to me vent, because that's basically all I had to do today was vent about how much I don't like being here. And I'm kind of sweating now because it's hot and the windows are up. The windows are up for, hey, listen to this obnoxious sound. Every day. This is why the windows are up. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's really loud out of this weird place I'm at. International Paper. I don't know what they do here, and I don't really care. But hey, have a good one. Remember, keep it grim. Don't forget to subscribe, because I have to tell people that, because they won't do it if I don't tell them. I don't know why.